Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to be using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil to start, but instead of using it as my base, as I tend to in most of the videos on my channel, I'm going to be using it as a stencil to do some line work. The end result looks pretty freaking cool if I do say so myself, but it's really only a few steps to actually get it looking as it does. And the first is to draw a bunch of squiggly lines. You don't have to have any rhyme or reason behind these. I did start out with a focal point for mine and branch out, no pun intended, going every different way, as branches or roots of a tree would. Using a white makeup pencil to start out with is essential for me as I tend to mess up loads when I'm doing most looks, and these are super easy to wipe off. The next step is to start adding an adhesive. You can definitely use anything that you want to, Prozade or whatever you want to use. I'm going to be using liquid latex on a disposable sponge as it is what I have on hand currently. But be sure to use a disposable sponge. I say this in basically every tutorial, but liquid latex will murder your makeup brushes and render them basically useless. Going to be using a disposable sponge, dipping it in a pool of liquid latex and dabbing it from my focal point and out. Dab, dab, dab. Then unrolling a cotton pad and then halving it lengthwise, aka hot dog style, and rubbing it between my hands to create almost like a tube shape. Then placing it down over my liquid latex. Once I place that where I want it, I add more liquid latex over the top of it. I'm repeating this on each line or squiggle I've created. And if I feel like moving it around a bit, I can totally do it as it is very pliable at this point. Even continuing down my arm onto my hand. You're going to want to be very careful with any liquid latex medium around your hairline though, or if you have arm hair, be sure to have a remover handy for, well, removal. Or put Vaseline around the area, aka possibly your hairline or mustache or whatever hair you have. Otherwise, you better be prepared for potential waxing. Once everything was dry to the touch, I wanted to set it. This is very optional if you're planning on painting your work, but I don't particularly like the stick of liquid latex has when it dries, especially when I have a wig on. If you've ever had medium or long hair and worn lip gloss outside on a windy day, you'll know why. I'm going to be using the NYX finishing powder as it is translucent. And time for the paint job. I'm going to be doing this with a water-activated paint from Mehron in the color light brown, which, to be honest, is not that light, but it works. And you guessed it, I am painting this all over the lines or squiggles I've just created. If by any chance this process gets a little messy, which is entirely possible, I found taking a damp Q-tip around the messy area works just fine for cleanup. Now to add a little bit more spring into this tutorial, and to recap, I've just bought myself a bouquet of flowers from the dollar store, cut off their stems, and here we are. My adhesive of choice this time around is Spirit Gum. This is specifically from Ben Nye. I'm adding it to both my skin and the bottom of the flower, and of course waiting for it to get tacky, and then pressing it down. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have made it to the end of this tutorial. Here is a gold star. You deserve it.